I'm about to be homeless in like 2 days. I don't want your pity, or I don't want you to feel bad for me. But what I would like is for anyone to know what it's like to live in your car, and maybe some essentials that I can pick up that's going to be super helpful.
Do y'all know that the average American doesn't have any money left over, if but maybe $200 or $300 left after they get paid every 2 weeks or every month? Did y'all know that? I'm sorry, but that I literally feel like drive me to voluntary homelessness. I would volunteer to be homeless. There's no way they'd have me out here working for anybody and I can't live life after I pay bills. Y'all can have these bills back. Take the car, take the crib. You can have it. Listen, I'm going to be homeless on the streets before I dare. Because, see, the way I'm set up, my Father which art in heaven would never have that be my portion. That's not my portion. There's no way that paying bills and not having any money left over to really exist, that's not my portion. That's not my portion.
How are people affording life right now? How are people tackling this cost of living?
We're not. Truth of the matter, most of us are living paycheck to paycheck with credit card debt. I know people who are legitimately putting gas and groceries on credit cards just so that they can get back and forth to work. I believe that this is what most people are now calling the silent depression. $100 has become the new $20, and it's ridiculous. But the best thing about it is that people have shifted their core values.
Well, second time in a year, almost a year to the day, I got laid off again. Twice in a year. And what the fuck? What is anyone supposed to do? And they said, because of the economy is crap right now. So, we're going to lay off a whole bunch of people again. And I already was struggling so hard, actually low-key, to even keep the current roof over my head. And now I have no idea how I'm even going to get through the next few hours. I just don't understand. But yeah, the economy is shit. America is shit right now. I feel like there's a really big plan for them to, tank this so that we have to rely on other things, other people. It's fucking shit.
Our car just got towed. We have not paid our rent yet. We need the car to pay the rent. Oh my goodness. I feel like I've been doing really good on my Bible study. Doing really good praying and trying to keep my faith. Believing that God has a bigger plan, but it's just like I just keep getting hit. Like our family, not just me, our family just keeps getting hit. Like Zay and I have been through a lot, bro. A lot. And this is just like the icing on the cake. Oh my God.
That's crazy. Lettuce is $20.
I couldn't believe it. I thought maybe it was
marked
weird.
Is the lettuce made of gold now? What are they doing to this lettuce? $20? You gotta be joking me.
I am selling my house and I'm getting ready to move back with my parents yet again. I am single. I do have a 9-to-5 job where it does not pay me nearly enough to cover the bills. And I've had this house for about 3 years now, and I am just exhausted. I am drowning, barely surviving, not being able to make repairs because the house is now falling apart, and I have no money in my savings to fix it. I have been saving for the past 3 years. All I've been doing is working and going straight home. I don't go out. I don't spend money on like coffee or anything. I tried to save as much money as possible so I could get some money to make repairs for this house to make it nice and comfortable and livable. But I am at my wit's end now, and I'm just tired. I honestly want to leave my job, my 9-to-5 job that's not paying me well enough to even cover the bills. I'm exhausted. I want to leave, but then I'm stuck with this house, and I just don't want any of it anymore.
How are y'all making it? No, literally, how are y'all making it? Because
Little backstory, I decided back in January that I was going to monetize on this app. Every dollar I made, no matter how big, how small, was going to go to a savings account, and that was going to be money for a down payment on our house. Because if you don't know, me, my husband, and our 2 kids are living with my parents. Spoiler alert, that's not happening. We're having to take that money I'm making and use it to get by until the next week, on top of my husband's income. My husband's making the most money he's ever made, and this is the brokest we've ever been. Make it make sense. I'm not a bougie bitch. I might get my lashes done, but my friends do my hair. I don't get my nails done. Like, I'm really not that high maintenance. We try to live within our means. We truly do. It's like, no matter how much you don't go out to eat, no matter how much you don't spend money, you're still gonna be broke.
If you guys thought that the job market was cooked before, just realize that in the last 100 days, 300,000 Americans have lost their jobs. That is larger than the population of Pittsburgh. Now imagine the entire population of Pittsburgh looking for work simultaneously. UPS, Intel, Amazon, the federal government have announced massive layoffs across the board.
I just got laid off about 2 hours ago. I think I'm still shocked. Like, I just can't believe that it happened. There were absolutely no signs from the company that it was gonna happen. 9:30, I got a Teams message from my boss asking if I was free, which definitely was kind of weird, but I thought that he wanted to talk about something that we had discussed yesterday. So I was like, yeah, of course I'm free, what's up? And then they dialed me into a video call where my boss was sitting in the office in a conference room with this lady from legal. And they just basically told me I was being let go.
Eddie's brothers, it's finally happening, man. Like, we finally gotten to a point where like society is crashing out. You know what I'm saying? Like, over the last few years, man, people have talked about how rent is going up, how mortgages are going up, the price of everything, the price of car notes, the price of apples and oranges has gone up. And it's to the point now, man, where society as a whole is at its breaking point. You know, you can get on TikTok or any of the social media platforms and see people, you know, speaking their truth, saying, hey, you know what, I'm working 20 jobs. Hey, you know, both people in the household are working. We got the kids working, and we still can't make it work. Like, people are literally starting to crash out. One of my, and I won't say favorite content creator, there's a content creator I follow, and I see his videos every once in a while. I even saw him about a week ago, and he's always talking about consciousness and a certain type conversation. He was on a video, man, with his shirt off. You know, tears coming from his eyes, talking about he doesn't understand why the world is doing what it's doing, how we can only afford to keep the lights on, man. So it's hitting everybody. And I'll say this: when I say it's hitting everybody different, but everybody can feel what the world is doing. You know what I'm saying? You might think just because you're working at the burger joint that you feel a certain thing that people that are in corporate America don't feel. Everybody feel the same thing. It don't matter what your financial level is. You're feeling some effect of what the world is doing. It may be your bank account. It may have rolled over into your money, changing your relationship. It could be a number of things, man. But it's to the point now, and I think it's a beautiful thing that everybody's feeling it. But everybody is feeling this, man. But you gotta understand. You have to understand this is supposed to happen. It was supposed to happen. It has to happen. Like the way this world is set, the way the West is set up. Let me speak specifically to the West. The way that the West is set up, man, this is supposed to take place by design. It's supposed to take place by design, just because the way we run our country, the way we put things on a pedestal, the way we classify success. This is supposed to happen. That's why every 100 years, man, we have, you know, hard recessions or hard depressions. It's because you can't move the way we move and not have these things take place. It's just a matter of time before the way it's designed begins to fail.
You do know that you can just decide any day of the week that that's enough of this bullshit and just be done. The fact that you think you're stuck is literally just an illusion. You have free will. You can do anything you want, baby, as long as it's not against the law. Take this as your sign to take action and get the F out of whatever it is you feel like you're stuck in, baby, today.
I'm going to cut straight to the point. I got $1.52 in my account. All the bills are still due. And today's my last day at work to go pursue something that God has put on my heart to go do. I am allowing my faith to be bigger than my fear. Lord, have it all. You told me to do it. You said trust you. Okay, I'll trust you. You said go do this. You open up doors that I shouldn't even be in. And I said, all right, I'll go do it. And I'm going to tell y'all like this. I don't know what he's about to do. Okay? I don't know who this for. Take that chance.
All right, brother. So in order to avoid crashing out in a time like we are in right now, man, there are 4 things you got to do, right? And the first thing is you have to question the narrative. And when I say question the narrative, man, you got to question the narrative, because if you don't understand the storyline, if you don't understand the script that we're all supposed to be reading, not only will you not understand how we got to the point that we're in, you won't even understand how to get out of it, right? And when I say question the narrative, what I'm really saying is, like, look at the plays that they want everybody calling when they hit quote unquote adulthood. As soon as you hit 18 years old, give or take, they want everybody jumping into, $100,000 of student loans. They want everybody jumping into $500,000 in mortgage. They want everybody driving a $50,000, $100,000 vehicle. And I know that we typically, consider these things successful, and to a degree, in certain conversations, they are successful. But you have to understand that a lot of people are obtaining these things prematurely, man, and it's putting them in a bind. It's putting them in a situation where now they're getting online and they're saying, hey, you know what? We don't understand why the world is doing what it's doing. And nobody understands this, because our culture teaches us to be a certain way, to spend a certain way, to have a certain amount of debt. You know what I'm saying? So that when everybody's saying, I don't understand why the world, yeah, there are some internal workings of the way just the West works that's designed to squeeze everything out of a person, but that's a whole nother conversation. But a lot of it can be avoided if we can separate our minds. Like I said a second ago, you got to get a whole new mindset. If you still have that old mindset that we're programmed with, then I don't care what your financial situation is. I don't care if you're flipping burgers or if you're pressing buttons to $1 million operations. You're gonna feel the same effect because the narrative doesn't fit a peaceful ending situation. It just doesn't. And if you live long enough, there are going to be some times in life where times are hard. There are going to be some times in life where you're up on a high horse. But if you keep the same formula, it's just a matter of time before you get to a point where you're crashing out. It's just a matter of time. Live long enough, man. So first thing I want to say is you first got to understand that the world we live in, man, the West, it's not even designed for you not to hit this crash out point at some point in time, man. So the first thing is just look at the narrative. The second thing, man, is you really have to, and again, coming back to changing your mindset, you really have to, and this is major. You really have to come out of the mindset of being a consumer and start leaning more about being a creator. You know what I'm saying? Now, that doesn't mean don't buy things. That don't mean don't go buy the Jordan 3s. It don't mean don't go get you a new vehicle when you need a new. It don't mean that stuff. I'm talking about a consumer mindset. Everybody got to buy stuff. Everybody got to have clothes on their back. Everybody has to have a roof on their head. Everybody got to have certain things. But it's a mindset where you live for obtaining. You know what I'm saying? All you think about is when that paycheck hits, where can you go out and have the fanciest restaurants to post on IG? What new car can you upgrade to for the summer? What new dress, what new jeans can you get? You know what I'm saying? And you look up, man, and you got a closet full, or you have a garage full, or you have a stable full of things, man. You know what I'm saying? And at no point in time do you think about, hey, you know what? Okay, I'm accumulating these things, but what can I sit back and produce for the world? It's two different mindsets. So you have to be, and again, but to get out of this situation, to get past what the world is doing, man, you have to get out of the mindset of becoming a consumer and becoming a creator. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by that is, well, I'll say it like this. One of the many reasons, like you got to understand, and I said this before, everything you obtain, it has an energy associated with it. All the cars and the clothes, everything, it has an energy associated with it, man. And you don't understand that energy, even though these are good things and they're blessings to us, if it isn't in a certain alignment, even if it is in alignment, those things are pulling from you at all times. So when you see people get online, they're like, man, how I can't make. I'm not saying they're not speaking from their truth, but what I'm saying is it's a lot of the things that they have that are making them say, hey, you know what? Like something is putting me in a depressive state. Like I just can't afford to. It's because all these things are pulling from you. It's kind of like the scenario. It's kind of like the scenario I talked about. I don't know. This is probably a year or two ago. Where I said, I went through that neighborhood, man, and all these brand new houses, they just stopped building. They just started falling apart. It wasn't but a year or two old. Like if there isn't life force in these houses will crumble in a year. Whereas you could have a house that's 100 years old, they're still standing strong because life is in it. You got to understand, life is being pulled from you, man. And I can really speak to this, man, because as I spoke to on a few videos ago, I guess a month ago, 2 months ago, I got rid of everything, man. I have no vehicles. 98% of my clothes are given to charity. That's why I'm down to my last 5 hoodies. That's why I wear them every day. You know what I'm saying? No home to call my own. You know what I'm saying? Everything is gone, man. And I can say, even though for a minute it felt weird because, no car, at the same time, I felt this weight off of my shoulders. This weight off of my shoulders where it was no longer like a stress pulling from me. And I'm not saying it's always stressful, but an energy being pulled from me. The more I gave stuff away, man, and sold things, man, I could feel like the energy just coming off my chest. You know what I'm saying? And it just felt enlightening, man. And to be honest, I hadn't felt that in a long time. But anyway, when I say going from a consumer to a creator, like it's okay to consume, it's okay to buy certain things, but your foundation has to always be producing. Your foundation has to always be producing, which means kind of like I always say, the main 2 commandments, the greatest commandments of God: love God with all your heart, love your brother like you love yourself. If you love your brother like you love yourself, if you love your sister like you love yourself, you're thinking of ways to make the world a better place. You're thinking of products. You're thinking of books. You're thinking of businesses. You're thinking of solutions to many people's problems. And as you move like that, your world changes. It changes. And now you consuming is just a byproduct of you living. You know what I'm saying? So just in a nutshell, become more of, or have more of a producer or creator mindset as opposed to consumer. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop putting your identity in these things. I saw this post, I don't know if this was TikTok or whatever, but there was a guy, y'all might have seen this. There was a guy that went and bought a $20, did he say $20? I don't know if he said a dollar amount, but he went to Walmart and bought his whole outfit from head to toe, right? And he had Walmart kicks on, Walmart jeans on, Walmart shirt on. And he, I guess his caption was saying something like, I just want to show y'all that you can still be fly. Like, you ain't got to go out and have the Balenci's or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying don't go buy the Balenci's or the Jordan. I'm not saying don't do that. But I'm saying don't get so consumed about trying to impress the world with your brands and just be satisfied with, you know, who you are, and let you be your own representation, not necessarily what you have. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, become a producer, man. Become a creator. You know what I'm saying? That's being made in the image of God. And third, I would say, man, you have to be a person that can adapt. I'm gonna tell you this. If any person on the globe doesn't have the ability to adapt in their lifetime, they're gonna catch problems. They're gonna crash out. Because you gotta understand, if you live to be more than 20 years old, if you live to be more than 40 years old, you're gonna see society do something completely opposite of what it did, or completely different from what it did when you were earlier. Especially with technology now, and things are moving fast. 50 years ago, 70 years ago, 100 years ago, it took time for life to transition. But now with the World Wide Web, man, the world can be completely different in 5 to 10 years. Completely different. So if you aren't willing to adapt, you're gonna fall behind. You know what I'm saying? Like think about the people that rode horses when cars came out. Yeah, okay, it was probably pretty cool and like a novelty at first. It was like, oh man, so and so must have a bag. They got a car. Like, man, that's pretty neat for 5 or 10 years. But 25 years later, 30, 35 years later, if you're still riding horses, you're living in a completely different society. People are getting up and they're driving to work in 30 minutes, and you're talking about, hey, I'm going to ride my horse and I should be in the next town in a day and a half. Like, you no longer fit in the world, man. So you have to adapt. You have to adapt. A lot of us are online crashing out because we're still riding horses. We're still riding horses. We still think that formula that I talked about a second ago, home, crib, college, and da. We still think that formula is the gold mine to get. Like, the world has changed. I'm not saying that formula doesn't have some wins in it, but if you're starting that formula right now, odds are you aren't going to make it. What's going on, man? Odds are you aren't going to make it. You're still riding horses. So when I say adapt, man, like, understand what the world is doing. And I'm not talking about things. I mean, think about all this conversation surrounding AI. Like, yeah, we might sleep on it. I kind of sleep on it. I use a lot of technology, but at some point in time, if you aren't using what's you know, at some point, if you aren't using what's being put in place, you will no longer fit. Your livelihood, your money is going to start going down. It's kind of like in what, 97, 2000, 2002, when everybody started using the internet. People were like, oh, internet, that's cool. That's a cool thing. We're not using that. We're not finna get no worldwide. We're not finna get on no Instagram and all that. Those companies are stuck. Toys R Us, they're falling off. You know, it's because they're failing to adapt. Yeah, I mean, a lot of times I hate social media too, because it has a lot of negativity to it, but it's the way the world works now. And if I don't insert myself in it in a certain way, then my livelihood is gonna change drastically. So you have to be able to adapt. You have to be able to adapt. Don't get so set in your ways where you like, oh, well, this is the way mama and them did it, so this is the way I'm going to do it. This is the way I did it when I came out of school, so 30 years later, 40 years later, I'm still going to do it just like this. Okay? Okay? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you this, man. If I can say there's anything about myself that I like a lot, it's the ability to be in a situation and to be able to see the writing on the wall. And I'm going back to when I was 20 and I was looking at people in the workforce. I remember when I turned 30 and I'm looking at the old schoolers getting laid off just because they were 40 years old and 50 years. I'm like, man, I see what's going on. I see what the world is doing, and then I will make a change before I needed to. And it would always, in the next 5, 10 years, put me in position to be in a better place. I'm telling you now, man, if you don't have the ability to adapt, it's a wrap. In 5 years from now, the way you operate will be obsolete. 10 years, definitely. You know what I'm saying? So the ability to adapt, man. And the fourth thing I would say is, and to be honest, on this fourth thing, I'm really speaking to those in the know. On this fourth thing, I'm not even speaking to the sleepwalkers. I'm speaking to those in the know. Because like I say, everybody's feeling this. The conscious people are feeling this, the aware people are feeling this, and the sleepwalkers are feeling this. But to the people that are in the know, to the people that have understanding, to the people that don't just speak faith, but stand on faith, I'm gonna tell you this, man. I want to tell you to simply hold on to who you are and what you know. This is simply a test, man. This is simply a test. This is simply just a storm that the whole society, that the whole world perhaps has to go through. And it's just like if it rains right here in the city that I'm in, everybody's going to feel the rain. There aren't some people that won't get wet. Yeah, some people might have umbrellas, some people not, but everybody's in the rain. Everybody's in the storm. So what I'm saying is, even all the people in the know, even us, we still feel the storm, but we just have to hold on and ride this thing out with what we know. With what we know, which means just stand on our principles, man. Don't let this kind of going back to the people I posted on the platforms, man, that were having many crash outs. Don't let what's going on in this world ever change your emotional state. I'm gonna say it a different way. Never let the things you see on the news, never let the wars and rumors of wars, never let the things that are said on social media, never let those things change your identity. Never let those things change your who am I and where am I going. Never let them change your emotional frequency. I can say it a million ways. Because once you allow it to change that, now these things have control over you. Now people in high positions, if you want to even say that, have a remote control and they can govern your future outcome. Remain in your emotional state, because this is it, man. And I was just telling a person that's very dear to me. A person that's very, very dear to me, man. I was just telling them. I said, you know what? What it's going to come down to is this. I said, your future, what it's going to come down to is this. Everybody has two choices. You can either wake up every single day and look at the storm. You can wake up every single day, man, and look at these clouds and listen to the thunder and watch the lightning and say, dang it, man, life is jacked up. I'm getting wet. My belongings are getting soaked. And you can remain in that energy. You can remain in that thought process. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to tell you this. If you remain in that thought process, it is guaranteed. It is guaranteed that the world you're going to experience going forward is going to be exactly like that. You're made in the image. You're made like God. And if that's the thoughts, if those are the thoughts you want to put out into the ether, or if those are the thoughts you want to take to the other side when you meditate, when you sleep, by the laws that God put in place, you have to see that, right? But the alternative is, even though you're in the storm, man, you can think about the life that you'll have when the rainbows come out. Think about the life that you'll have, man, when the sun is back out. Think about the vision in your mind. Think about, and when I say think about it, I don't mean just sit down every once in a while in the midst of the storm and take 5 minutes to kind of just get lost in that thought of the rainbow and all that. I'm saying even in the storm, operate like the sun is shining. I'm gonna say it again, bro. I'm gonna say it again, because if I've only said one thing on this World Wide Web that I want everybody to hear, if I've only said one thing, man, that's going to quarterback everybody's life, is this. The moment you can learn to be in the storm but conduct yourself like the sun is shining, you're him. You're walking in the image. You're doing exactly what the messenger taught us through all these books in the Bible you read every Sunday. You're doing that. You know what I'm saying? So to wrap this up, man, because I know y'all gotta get back to life. The world is doing something. There's no way around that the world is doing something, man. And you can see people all around you crashing out. You can see people losing jobs. You can see people's money getting funny. You can see people having to make a choice between groceries and keeping lights on. It's a real thing. It's a real thing. But what I'm telling you is, in the midst of that storm, when you're making these decisions, when you have to choose one over the other, when your relationship is going bad because your money is funny, remain in that state of your future world. If you can remain in that state, if you can just weather the storm, man, if you can just hold on, man, I promise you it'll work out.